And we move on to Domino's. So Domino's is unlike other fast food establishments in that they've actually created options for their pizza that is slightly healthier than the options that they typically offer. So thus there's more that we can work with and there's more to explore. So in the first option, we're going to dive right into it, which is the Veggie and Chicken Pizza. We're going to request that we have thin crust, which I believe is how it actually comes with, but just in case they don't give you that, make sure it's thin crust. This reduces the sodium intake, reduces the empty calories from that crust in the form of carbohydrates because it's much smaller than the hand-tossed crust that they typically use. For the sauces, you have two options here. I recommend the robust tomato sauce because it's slightly healthier, but the difference isn't that noticeable compared to the marinara sauce that they offer. So both of these are acceptable. The robust tomato sauce is probably a bit better by like a small margin, by inches, but really they're interchangeable if you have a preference to the marinara. The third thing that's going to be in there is the grilled chicken breast. Again, this is grilled instead of fried. We've mentioned in a lot of other videos. Fried is detrimental in that it reduces a lot of the nutrients in the cooking process, has butter in it, which is a bad fat for you, and with the grilled chicken, we're going to significantly reduce that fat intake. So all in all, grilled is a much better source of protein than fried. Spinach. This is going to improve our blood glucose levels. It's going to lower our risk of cancer, improve bone health, and a bunch of other nutrients and antioxidants. Tomato helps improve heart health. And has antioxidants in it as well. Black olives, again, I could tell you all day about the veggies having antioxidants in it, which is really good for you, but it also has, the olives have good digestion components from the fiber, as well as helping with cardiovascular health. Now, that said, the olives are high in sodium, so request it without black olives. Request your pizza without black olives if you want to reduce your sodium intake. And the reason that I say this is that you need to calibrate yourself. What are the other meals I've had in my day? Are they going to be really high in sodium? Like, for example, a burger is going to be significantly high in sodium, or wings are going to be very high in sodium. So you might want to exclude the black olives if you know that you're going to be eating a lot of sodium later or have had it earlier in the day. Lastly, cheese. This is a decent protein source and helps improve bone and teeth health from the calcium. But it is high in saturated fat and sodium, so request a lighter portion of this if they're not going to already give it to you in the actual pizza. Moving on to option number 2, we're going to be looking at chicken, green pepper, and onion pizza. Again, we're going to be doing that thin crust. We're reducing the empty calories from the nutritionless carbohydrates that come with that crust. You can choose between the robust tomato sauce or the marinara sauce. As I mentioned earlier, it's really preference. The robust is a little bit healthier. Grilled chicken breast, better than fried, better than a lot of the other protein sources like sausage, pepperoni, and others that they offer with their pizzas. And then it also has onions and green peppers, which have a lot of really healthful components to it, a lot of antioxidants, a lot of fiber, good for heart health, good for eye health, reduces risk of chronic illness. And then lastly, the cheese, we're going to request a lighter portion if they don't already come with it. So very similar compared to the other pizza, except that you're getting a little bit different toppings for your price. So really it comes down to preference as to which veggies you actually want on your pizza. Lastly, option number 3 is not a pizza option. I like to include these whether it's a salad or wings when it comes to pizza establishments because typically these are healthier. But in this case, specifically with Domino's, the wings in here are really high in fat and sodium, but the plain ones are definitely the way to go as the mild 8 pieces are about 117% of your sodium for the day. And then the plain wings, although they're not as tasty, they're half that of the mild. So even in the first seasoning that we look at, it's really a huge difference in the delta between the sodium intake that you'll get between the two. I'm actually just going to go in order here. So mild is almost double the plain wings sodium. Hot is at 138% of your sodium's daily value at 8 pieces. The sweet mango habanero is 60% of the sodium, but then 22 grams of sugar, which means that you're getting all these empty sugars and additives that's significantly worse than the sodium because at least in the short term, you can combat the sodium with drinking more water. This sugar is just going straight into your body and it really doesn't do well in processing it compared to like a vegetable or a fruit that's healthy, nutritious sugars and that your body can easily digest. Same thing with the barbecue version of the wings. 70%, so it's 10% more sodium than the sweet mango habanero, but it also has the 20 grams of sugar. So neither of these are really practical and viable options. You really want to stick to the mild or hot if you're going to go with a seasoning or some type of flavor to add to those plain wings. Again, I recommend just getting plain wings because of all of these negative aspects that come with getting the flavored versions. And then we're going to couple those wings with the classic garden salad. And in that classic garden salad, we have lettuce, tomato, onions, carrots, cabbage, just to name a few things that are in that. Lots of antioxidants, improving heart health, helps to fight cancer. It's anti-inflammatory, helps to support digestive tract. All 5 of these components really help with those types of health benefits. And then lastly, in that salad, we're going to want to skip or request without the cheddar cheese to reduce our saturated fat and sodium. And then we're going to want to skip the croutons because there's no real nutrition in those croutons and it's really just empty calories from the carbohydrates.